Just trying to set it up here. So, yeah, it's just struggling big time. I think we'll probably lose the internet soon. That won't be long. Yeah, I have like not the best service right now. Hey, what's up, guys? Okay, people are coming in. How are you guys? All right, just give it a second. I won't be long, but I definitely owe it to all you amazing people to give you the full story and let you know what happened with Dante. You know, and plus we're in the middle of an ice storm here. We can't get out of the house. We can't go to the store. We can't go get something to eat. We really can't do anything except lay around and do nothing. You know, I'll just give people another minute and then I'll give you the boring story. It's nothing exciting, unfortunately, or fortunately. I don't know, but it's been a really long few days. Thank you, David. Thank you, everyone. You know, what's up, Mark? How are you, buddy? Vincent, David, Damon, how are you guys? All right, quick update. First of all, thank you, everyone, very much. I was in a really, really bad place with the whole thing. It tore me up. It destroyed me watching your dog go through that. The outpouring of concern and well-wishers, it really does make a difference. It does. It was absolutely overwhelming. I was really touched by it for so many reasons, like thousands and thousands of messages. So obviously, most of you will know by now that Dante lost his leg, and that's a decision that we didn't make lightly, but it was kind of an easy decision. The break was really bad. Let's put it this way. He didn't have an accident. He wasn't hit by a car. He didn't step into a hole. He didn't run into anything. It was nothing like that. We were out on a soccer field, and we were there probably 10 minutes in total. It was just me and him enjoying ourselves. I just ran through the first half of IGP obedience. I stopped at the end. I took out a ball and I threw it to him. I didn't even throw it far, like just here's your ball, right? Because I don't throw a ball for him much anymore like that. And he went to run after it. And after a couple of steps, I just heard it snap. I heard it. It was like awful. And he just went down screaming and shaking. And it completely broke me. And I didn't know what to do. We were not close to my truck. I'm out there by myself with him, and I'm scared to move him, And I called my wife, and I said, please call the emergency vet. I told her what happened. I said, I need you to get here because I was going to need her to drive up on the field where we're at. It was bad. And to be honest with you, I just sat there hysterical crying, holding him and just apologizing to him. And I don't know what I was apologizing about, but I was just devastated, the pain that he was in. And being the dog that he is, this is what gets me. One of the things that bothers me when I hear there's a segment of dog training that always make dogs out to be very, very selfish beings, that they're always trying to manipulate us. And I've never bought into that, and fuck, like it kills me to think about it. But that dog's leg hanging the way it was with the pain he was in when he saw my devastation and me sitting there crying like a baby, he was more concerned with me than with himself. And that made it worse for me. It just destroyed me. Like it gutted me. Okay. When my wife got there, she pulled right up next to us, and I went to pick him up, and he was screaming, of course, because it was very difficult to get him up. And no joke, this fucking dog turns and he's trying to get to his ball. And I'm thinking, this may be part of the reason you're in this situation, buddy, right? So we got him to the emergency vet. They sedated him. They gave him, pain meds. They put a cast on it, temporary cast, but there's nothing they could do. We had to wait to see a high-level surgeon. And they when they saw the x-rays, they were like, okay, this is really bad. And then when they were told how he did it, then they were really concerned, because that's not normal, right? It was a devastating break. And after talking back and forth with the surgeons, they were telling us the surgery is going to be really difficult. Not everyone can do it. It's going to take multiple plates, multiple screws, and there's a good chance that it could happen again. And the recovery was going to be awful. We could try to resume the normal things we do. That's not an option. I'm not even worried about that, or we could limit the risk and take the leg off. Well, that was a no-brainer for me and Stephanie. Like, it wasn't even a question. Take the leg off, because I never want to see him suffer like that again. Never want to see him suffer like that again. And the recovery was going to be tough with that surgery too, and a dog like him, even now, well, you guys saw the video of him coming out. He came out full of fire, like there was nothing going on. And I thought, I was expecting myself to break down when I saw him, but I didn't, because, well, I had a good conversation with Jay. Thank you, Jay. You're always very helpful. Helped a lot what you sent me to, Jay, really. And it's not like you don't know that, but you need to hear it from someone that you think a lot of. But seeing him so happy, it just made me happy. It really did. And he did good last night. He's peeing, he's pooping, he's eating, I have him nice and comfortable. Unfortunately, today, all of Kentucky is under ice. And so he's being put to his first test, and we're going to go on. We're going to go on with our lives. He's my dude. He's going to be with me forever. We'll just have to do different things. I probably will continue to try to do tracking with him and maybe see how far I could take that if he wants to do it. If he looks like he still enjoys it and doesn't struggle with the balance. Otherwise, he's just going to be my pal that tags along and still travels with me. That's it. So a little backstory with Dante and this issue. He's really, first of all, he's a very well-bred dog. My buddy Terry he's not a backyard breeder or something. Like, he puts a lot of work and effort into this. He's a very, very well-bred dog. He comes from an outstanding pedigree. But Dante's really reckless. Like, he is a lot. He is balls to the wall in everything he does. He has as much drive as Luca, my older Malinois, does, but he doesn't have the body of a Malinois. He's got the body of a German Shepherd. And so from day one, he was always hurting himself. And I'm very conservative with him. Like, for the training that I've done with him for IGP, like, think about this. He just turned 4 years old, and we were just getting to go for our IGP 1 in April. I didn't start doing jumps with him until he was 3 years old. Like the A-frame, 3 years old, all of that stuff, all the very physically demanding stuff. And I did it sparingly. I never did it a lot. As far as protection work goes, I've done it all myself. and he's been on my buddy John, Mohawk John. Thank you, John. Like 2 times, very mild stuff. John really takes care of the dogs, nothing major. This past couple of weeks down in Florida with Fabian, and Ray Harris worked him beautifully. That's the first time he was in that setting, like a club type setting with a helper and going through. That's the first time. I think I even forgot to tell Ray and Fabian and Gina that he's never been in that setting, you know? So I'm crazy conservative with him because his health and his safety is my priority always. I'm not doing, like, it's not about to see how good I can do at IGP, and I'm not worried about scores and numbers. I don't give a shit about that. I just decide I didn't get a dog to do IGP with, right? If I got the right dog and I thought it was something we could do and enjoy together, then I'd do it. And that was him. That's why I was doing it. Okay. So as far as that goes, he's done with that. He's just going to be my pal till the day he dies. And we'll still go out to the farm and look for deer antlers and all the things he loves to do the most. I'll still let him bite things and do some tracking. But he's always been extremely hard on his body. And I always knew there was always something there. I could tell. I could just tell. Every now and then he would show it. I've spent a fortune on getting him looked at, getting him checked. No one ever found anything. The last time I took him to the vet was probably a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. And my vet had him on the ground, and he did every test he can do short of an MRI, and he showed no signs of anything, right? And then he started, and many of you have seen this in videos, every now and then you'd see a little hitch in his gait. You couldn't tell when he was running full speed. You couldn't tell when he was walking, but when he was in that middle speed trot, you could tell something was off. And I did believe it was something from the front end, right? Shoulders, elbows, something. But remember, I had his hips and elbows and spine x-rayed and sent off to OFA, and everything came back good, right? So there were no issues there. And I only had the x-rays done a year ago. He's had these issues prior to that for a very long time. And then when we went and did the last video I did on the Sit, Stay, Learn site with the communication video, if you guys remember, and some of you may have it, like when I was working him outside, I had the worst session I ever had with him. Like if I ask Dante to do something, he does it. I don't have to make him do anything. Like he loves doing this stuff with me, right? And it was really the first bad session we ever had. And I was like, man, he's really off. But then when I walked back and watched the video, I was like, holy crap, like he's moving awful. Like he doesn't show when he's in pain like a lot of these dogs don't, right? And so I could tell the movement was really bad. And from there, I talked to Stephanie, and she was making arrangements with the University of Tennessee. We were supposed to get him down to UT right before this happened, right? They have a section of University of Tennessee that they have a section for dogs, like for sport dogs, for athletes, like a really high level thing. Then they wanted to do a bunch of stuff with him before they even did an MRI. So that's where we were going next. And then this happened. You know, what blew me away about this dog, guys, like no joke, when we got him to the emergency vet, it was bad. And they came out to put the muzzle on him. And I said, guys, you don't need that. And then they said, yeah, everyone says, no, I understand. Do what you got to do. You know, and it wasn't long before I saw he didn't have a muzzle on. And then when we went down to Blue Pearl, which Blue Pearl in Franklin, Tennessee, thank you guys. You guys are amazing. They really took care of my boy. I got a feeling he might have got a little extra special care because some of the people there knew him from the internet, right? They knew me, they knew him, and they were excited to see him, not under those circumstances. But even with that leg dangling and being in that pain, he just loved on everyone. He was just loving. He made friends every place he went, and being in that kind of pain, suffering like that, and that dog was still loving on everybody. And it just melted my heart. Like, I love that dog. I knew I loved that dog. I knew I loved being with that dog. And I never took him for granted. I don't take my dogs for granted, right? But I spend a lot of time with him. We travel, and I enjoy that. But when you see something you love so much suffer, man, I have no tears left. Like I'm done. Like I can't cry anymore and it's not because people are like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I know you put a lot of work in these 4 years to compete with him. Man, I don't care about that, guys. If I want to do that, I could always get another puppy to do that with. What hurt me, what affected me was seeing the agony he was in, and then you're always going to second guess yourself. Is there something I could have done different? Something I could have done better? Should I force the MRI sooner? Will we have known? So I'm trying to think, like they said there was bruising when they took the leg off. Like, why was there bruising? I don't know. They sent the leg off and they're going to have it tested. So you start wondering, like, what did he do? Do I remember him doing it? And then when I start thinking about it, I'm like, holy crap. I could think of 50 different times since the day I brought him home until now to where he did something so reckless where I would just cringe and be scared. Like, here we go. This is a vet trip, but he'd always bounce right back and he was never affected by anything. You know what I mean? That's the downside. That's the bad part of having really high drive dogs, because a lot of them just aren't going to tell you, hey, Pops, I'm really hurting. I think I'm going to take a break. And I don't work him a lot. So it's not like I'm out there training him every day and doing physical things. You know what I mean? It's, I hope I get some answers when they get the results back from all the tests with doing the whole leg. If I had to guess, I think he probably had a little injury there for a really long time, that every time it would get ready to heal, he'd probably do something to tweak it, and it just became weaker over time, if I had to guess. But obviously I'm not a vet, I'm not a surgeon, but being around dogs long enough and seeing a lot of things, I've never seen this. I've spoken to a lot of people since who've had the same situation, but it was almost always cancer related. And from what they can tell, it's yeah, no kidding, Jay. It does. It's you have to just be extra mindful, I guess, you know what I mean? But I am very grateful. And like I said, for all the people that were absolutely just amazing. I'm reading them all. I'm going through all the messages, but like to respond to everyone is really, really tough. There's a lot of good people out there, a lot of really good, caring people, and it touched my heart. It really did. And so there's so many times where I get so down with the whole social media thing. I'm like, it's not worth it anymore dealing with these headaches. You know what I mean? It's like, but then when you see that you do have a positive effect on people, then Stephanie's telling me to cut it off. I think she wants to send you all an invoice. But that's it. I do appreciate you very, very much. You know what I mean? But that's it. There was no like major accident. It wasn't a car accident. He get hit by. He didn't even step in a hole. You know what I mean? Oh, we are about to lose power? How do you know? How do you know, Steph? Oh, I guess people in our neighborhood are losing power. So if this just goes blank, I didn't hang up on you guys to go like cry in a corner, but I'm very grateful and I'm very happy now. I'm very happy to have my boy. I don't care that he's missing a leg. I don't care that we can't do IGP. I can care less about that stuff. I am going to get back to tracking as soon as a couple of weeks when he's up for it. Hey, Gina. I said tracking and Gina popped up, but I am going to see how far I could take it because we love doing that together, and if he could balance himself and still enjoy it, we're going to do that. I've had some very nice offers for puppies to get started again. And I didn't know if I wanted to stick with the IGP thing, but now that I know I can't do it with him, I'm like, yeah, I already miss it. I already miss training for it. It's a nice challenge. It's a nice outlet. So I will. Hey, Benny, I'm on a live, dude. But I know I will probably get back to it, just not with Dante. But he's not going anywhere. He's my buddy. That's my dog. And I know it's common practice for people to get rid of a dog they can't compete with, but it's just not my thing. Like I've never gotten rid of a dog in my life. And he's here. we'll find different things, but I thought I owed it to everyone because I know people were like, holy crap, how did that happen? Because for those of you that saw the break, you see it wasn't just a clean break. It was awful. And I heard that shit snap. And that I will live with for a while, So, nah, that's not a stupid question, Demir. It's a great question. Demir says there's something like Special Olympics for dogs. I'm sure there's something, you know what I mean? Or maybe, like my wife said and others said, maybe I'm just meant to do something different with him. And oh, thank you, Nikki. You're awesome. And I'll find something. I'm going to keep him happy. It doesn't matter. It's whatever we do, he's happy. That's all he cares about, is doing something with me. He's not someone who wants to lay around on the couch and snuggle very much. He will snuggle with you, believe me, but he likes to get out there and do things. And so we will. The second he's comfortable, we'll find something to do. But I do want you guys to know he's doing great, and knock on wood, hopefully everything keeps going like that. He amazed me immediately. I was getting like anxiety attacks going in there, and I was starting to get upset before I even saw him because I'm thinking the worst. And I know when I see that leg on, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to break down again. And that's what I did for a few days. But as soon as I saw him so happy, man, that was great. It just made me happy. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, just hit them up and I'll let you get out of here on your Saturday night. And we're stuck in the house and we can't go anywhere, and we're probably going to lose all power here at any minute. It's pretty bad here in Kentucky. I lost 2 big trees on the side of my house. I'm devastated. It sucks, but again, thanks guys. You guys, the dog world gets a lot of bad publicity, right? Rightfully so. It is very toxic at times, but there's so much good in there too when you deal with the right people. And of course, there was a little, ugly stuff has popped up, but I knew it would. What can you do? I try not to pay too much attention to that anymore because it's unfair that you get 10,000 amazing people just being beautiful to you, and then you let 1 or 2 dumbasses upset you. And I got to get better with that. I am better than I used to be, but I still let it upset me. No, you got that right, Jay. They certainly don't, But if there's no questions, I'll let you guys go. We're going to go back to being iced in. And again, from the bottom of my heart, and from Stephanie and from Renzo and from Sophia, from everybody, thanks a lot, guys. Like, you made this a real shitty situation a lot easier. Okay, so peace, and we'll see you all soon. Thanks, guys.